This is clearly the craziest video I'm making. It's just, hello! Should I just start over? I'm gonna start over, and I might get interrupted again, and we just have to accept it. What is going on? So, my car got broken into, and I don't know, everything is just a little not the way I have it. Everything is just not adjusted. They opened the console, they took the things. I have a sunshade. It was on the seat. That's what tipped me off. The sunshade was on the seat. The owner's manual was on the other seat. The Nada ashtray was open. They came in on the passenger side, and I didn't even notice. And the door was not fully latched until I was driving and I could hear the wind. I feel violated, but there's a piece of me, I can't help it. There's a piece of me that is laughing at this circumstance. I loaned my camera mount to somebody. I don't know if this video is going to look any good. Part of me is laughing about it because, they burned 30 seconds, 90 seconds of their life looking for a dollar or two, and that was their time that they lost. Because I don't keep anything valuable in the car. There is a backup litter box in there. I have a cane from when I tore the muscle in my leg this summer, so I keep the cane in the car in case I get to a treacherous terrain and I want a little backup. The cane is there. They never looked in the back seat. So I do, my car is a little messy right now, but I do try to keep it picked up because I learned the hard way back when I went to USC. Oh, they horked up my mirror. Okay. Not to leave valuables in the car, because they would come in on the passenger side. That's why it surprised me. Because that was, you park along the street and they come on the sidewalk and bloop. So they would come in on the passenger side and they would take whatever money was in the car. This was back when there were CDs. They would take whatever CDs were in the car. I learned, do not keep anything valuable in the car. I have 2 sets of jumper cables. So if you decide to break into my car and take jumper cables, can you at least be kind enough to leave me with 1 set? So I'm on my way out to Griffith Park. My girlfriend calls, she says, "What's your ETA?" Translation, she's not home yet. And I try really hard to be on time for everything. I realize as an adult, the timeliness button I inherited from both of my parents. We were always early for everything. We got everywhere, 10, 15 minutes early, everywhere. And then fast forward many years, and my dad has passed away, and my mom is living with my brother, and she's asked me to help her take the niece, her granddaughter, pick her up from school and take her to a theater rehearsal. And I swing by the McDonald's to get the kid something to eat. I don't know why this was foremost on my brain, but I just felt like the kid should get something to eat after school before she goes to rehearse whatever little musical she was going to be in. And it took a little longer than most drive-thrus take. And my mother started to get so wound up. She broke down crying because she was worried that we were going to be late. If we were going to be late, we were going to be 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. But her reaction was so outsized for, even if we were going to be an hour late, her reaction was not in line with rational thought. It really wasn't. And that's when I realized we were everywhere 10 or 15 minutes early, not because Dad wanted to be there early, but because he knew that my mom would become unglued. So he always made sure we got where we needed to go with time to spare, because Mom, who's a very strong personality, this is something that flipped her out, not in an angry way, but to watch her like cry because we might be late for a rehearsal for a school play. There's no way that there wasn't going to be somebody 5 minutes late. And sometimes you're the person who's late. Once in a while it happens. But this being on time thing was definitely baked into the lessons when I was a kid. And this friend I'm going to see is consistently not on time. So initially I was supposed to be at her place at 12, and then she moved it to 1, and then she moved it to 2, and at 1:45 she called me to find out where I was. Sitting in my car being mad that somebody broke into it. That's where I was. But I don't ever worry about being late to her house because it all happens when it's supposed to happen with her. There's not that strict chasing of time. It reminds me of this one time I was working at this educational place, theater place, arts thing, and it was like my first week or two on the job, and they were doing this play about child soldiers of Africa, and I think it was called Butterflies of Uganda, and it had a very, very strong, obviously a strong message, but the audience was primarily black, but not just African American. It was black African. It was it really got out there and spoke to the community, and so the curtain was supposed to go up at 8, and it never did. It always went up at like 8:30, and a lot of theaters, they'll let you seat people for like the first 10 or 15 minutes after the curtain comes up, but there's something so startling about that first 10 minutes that once the curtain goes up, the door is locked. So this man arrives at 10 after 9. So an hour and 10 minutes late. The play started at like 8:45 that night. So it was like really late start curtain. And I wasn't allowed to let him in. And he let me have it. He was in this beautiful, I don't know what the outfit was called, but it was definitely African textiles and African motif. He was quite handsome, and he couldn't have been more disgusted with the middle-aged white lady who was not going to let him see the play of his people. Boy, did he let me have it. But he said something profound. I mean, I was supposed to be crushed by his words, and I wasn't. I was intrigued. He said, "That's the problem with you people. You're always greedy and chasing time. Pinch, pinch, pinch." And he had this little gesture in the air. Like there's not enough time. Pinch, pinch, pinch. And, I had to stand my ground. It's like, didn't matter how insulting it got. I was just like, well, you can come back tomorrow. But it's not happening for you today. And I think I did manage to summon the producer, who was African American. She was lovely. I loved her. She's the one who made the curtain rule, not me. And she came out, and he was happier because there was a black woman in authority over my actions, and she could either bend the rules or not, but he could deal with somebody over me, and it wasn't another stupid white person. And I think about that guy a lot. I think about him often, and he's right. But what he's talking about is cultural anthropology. For millennia, my ancestors had to fight time, because in the dead of winter you might not have more than 8 hours of sunlight, and you got to take care of the livestock, and you got to feed the baby, and you got to do the laundry, and you got to separate the wheat from the chaff, you got to make the bread, there's no electricity, so you can't keep the lights on. Once the sun goes down, it is down, and it's you and candles, and that's it. So he absolutely had a point about the way that white people pressurize time. It's part of who we are because of where our ancestors come from. And I don't know if you want to get into any woo-woo, racial recall, tribal, whatever. I don't even think that's it. I just think that we do what our parents did. They did what their parents did. Those people did what their parents did, and back and back and back and back and back. And even though we have the power to stay up all night if we want, with electricity and lights and computers, and that doesn't mean that the behavior that we were raised with no ice. Yes, I'm sorry. So we'll just have to deal with the great camera work. Woo! I'm furious about ICE. I'm furious about that pedophile protector. I'm glad that white people are waking up. I think there's a horrible symmetry that the killings by law enforcement happened in the same town where law enforcement killed George Floyd. And there's no getting around it. It's it's a living, breathing monstrosity that we have to contend with now. And if you are a triple trumper, the blood of Renee Good is on your hands. The blood of Alex Pretty is on your hands, because you vote for, you support some of his policies. Nope. N-O-P-E, nope. If you think that somebody is illegal because their paperwork is not sorted out, and that's at the same level as the alleged rapists that he's going after, which, by the way, it's a little pot calling the kettle black there. Excuse me. You know, it takes one to know one. It's not right. It is not right. And we need to get right. There are problems and there are solutions. And maybe you agree on the problem, but if this is the solution you agree on, turn this video off and go to hell. I do not have a welcoming heart to you right now. Nope. I can't do it. So, do a little box breathing while we're driving. And I do have great hope for our country, because I have faith in the wisdom, the ultimate wisdom of the American people. I believe in the jury system. I believe in due process. I believe in our elections. I believe in us. I don't believe in that little toad, Stephen Miller. He's up there. I can't even. We were having such a good talk, too. Anyway, cultural anthropology. It's a thing. And we are affected by it more than we realize. And it's interesting when you run into these moments like I did with that man. And it allowed me the opportunity to examine my own life and my own upbringing and my own, although I didn't make the rule. It's not my rule. But it did give me a chance to reflect on time in general. So, I know I don't want to talk about politics on this blog, but here's the truth of the matter is, you're a living, breathing person in these United States of America, driving around the highways that are built using tax dollars. I am a political person just by putting my foot on the pavement. That's it. I promise not to make this a feature, because it's not what I want to talk about. I just want to vote the way I want to vote, and I want to campaign for what I want to campaign for, and I want to live a good and peaceful life, and not give billions of dollars to ICE, but be stingy about giving people health care. I don't want to bail out other countries, but not have health care. I don't want to fuck over farmers so that China buys their soybeans from farmers from other countries. It's going to be a mess cleaning this up, kids. I'm telling you. It's going to be a mess. Anyway, here it is in deep, dark January. In a day and a half, it's going to be February. There are so many places that are buried in snow. I saw somebody mention that it got so cold, trees were exploding. Wow. And here it's, you know, I could wear flip-flops today if I wanted to. It's a gorgeous day. So I'm not going to complain. I am going to send good thoughts to everybody who's freezing their dingles off across America, because it looks like there's a lot of dingle freezing weather out there. And yeah. Listen, kids, we're all in it together. Ooh, there is a bug in my car. A guy came in, tried to rip me off, and he left me bugs. Winning! I got something out of the deal, even if he didn't. Okay. All right. Anyway, if you've made it this far, you are a true friend. And I love you, and I'm hoping the best for you. And, you know, make sure have the chicken soup and the soft tissue for your nose on hand in case you get a chill. I didn't mean that like I'm in LA and you're getting cold. That's not what I meant. I meant like take care of yourself. This world needs you. I don't know what it is you do, but I know this world needs you, or you wouldn't be here. So take care of yourself. I'll talk to you later.